YouTube, what is going on? My name is Zugswang, and I am bringing you guys another video today. But today we're mixing it up a little. I felt like bringing an air of change about the channel. So, I wouldn't call it an air of change. I take that back. I just thought I would try to mix it up a little bit, vary the content a little bit. So today, I am bringing you guys a Call of Duty Infinite Warfare video. Now, bit of backstory about this is I actually recorded this as a live commentary. I was like, I'm going to mix it up even more, add a live commentary to it. But what happened was when I went back, for whatever reason, when I went into the footage on my Elgato, the live commentary wasn't there. So I still liked the gameplay. I thought it was pretty interesting, and I think the live commentary was actually kind of interesting. And I will be putting out live commentaries in the future, and I'm trying to still figure out what I'm best at. Am I better at post-coms, or am I better at live commentary? So hopefully we'll be able to figure that out here as we start experimenting with different items on the channel. Now, I decided to upload some Call of Duty today because, I just wanted to play Call of Duty, and that's, again, what I'm hoping to bring to the channel is a bit of variety based on what I want and based on what you guys want. And so I'm trying to figure out if, in the future, during commentaries, do I want to have a topic over videos, or do I just want to talk about what's happening in the video itself? Today I'm going to talk about a topic, and I'm going to talk about map design in Call of Duty. Well, not specifically map design, but I'm going to talk about the flaws of Infinite Warfare in general, because I think map design is one of the biggest flaws. When Infinity Ward announced they were releasing Infinite Warfare, there was a lot of instant negative feedback towards the game. A lot of people went right after Infinity Ward and started throwing awful names, and maybe not awful names, but they said, "Oh, I'm not going to buy Call of Duty, even if I want Modern Warfare Remaster. I'm not going to bother buying this piece of trash game that you guys are putting out." And to say the game's a piece of trash, I think is wrong. I don't think it's a flaming dumpster fire, if you will. The game is a good game. Now, when I say good, that is in comparison to any other game that could be played. Compared to Call of Duty standards, it is way below par. It is way below par. If you look at what Treyarch brings year after year, and you look at what Infinity Ward brings, at least specifically in the last few games Infinity Ward has brought out, not much. Now, what we're going to specifically look at is the map design in these games. What makes the maps for Treyarch's games, what makes their maps work, and why can't the maps for Infinite Warfare or the Treyarch games, or not the Treyarch games, oh my gosh, excuse me, again, the Infinity game, oh my gosh, the Infinity Ward games, why can't they work? Now, the best thing that Treyarch does is they stick to their map design. On nearly every single Treyarch map, you will find it. It is always 3 lanes. Every single time. Look at their most famous maps. Raid. Raid is... What are you going to say? There's not 3 lanes on it? You have the pool lane, you have the statue lane, and you have the courtyard lane, right? Obviously, I named them out of order. I went the 2 outside ones and then the inside. But the point still stands. You have 3 lanes. Look at Standoff, right? Standoff, you have the gas station lane, you have the tractor lane, or I can't even remember what it was called as when using callouts, and then you have the middle lane. Now, in other great Treyarch maps, if you want to look at even Black Ops 3, Hunted, although very fluky because of the water, I enjoyed the map very much because it was 3 lanes. You had cave, you had mid, and you had bridge. Simple enough, you attack 3 lanes. Now, when Treyarch... oh my goodness, why do I keep doing this? I'm going to do this throughout the whole video. When Infinity Ward put out Call of Duty Ghosts, they basically tried to experiment with a bunch of maps. In front of me, I have all of the maps that were put into the game for Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm not going to go through the DLC maps, but we're going to go through all of the regular maps that were put into the game. Prison Break. Prison Break was kind of a 3-lane map, but there were so many ravines and little hiding spots and corners and little valleys that it was a total, I don't want to swear, but a cluster. You finished the rest for me. It was absolutely mind-boggling how crazy that map was. Then they had Octane. Octane was okay. It was kind of three-laned, but there was one massive area in the middle that took away that kind of basic three-lane aspect. The map worked okay. Then you have Tremor. Tremor was a joke of a map. I played okay on it, but in general, it was not a good map. They experimented too much with dynamic map effects, and they shouldn't have, because Call of Duty is a game where dynamic map effects aren't the point of the game. Battlefield is for a more realistic, full-scale warfare thing. But it just didn't work within Call of Duty Ghosts. Then they put in Freight. Freight was okay. It was basically three-laned, and for the most part, it worked okay, even though it was very, very skinny and narrow, and there was no real definition between the lanes. Whiteout. Whiteout was what were they thinking with Whiteout? They made one of the largest maps in Call of Duty history, had no lane structure to it, just completely wide open besides one little thing down the middle. It was totally bonkers and so fluky and random that whenever it came up in the queue, nobody voted for it. Awful map. Stormfront. Stormfront was even worse than Whiteout, in my opinion. I thought Stormfront is literally the worst map ever put into a Call of Duty game. Then you had Siege. Siege was kind of three-laned by looking at the overall map layout here, but just a poor design, very fluky, very random, didn't work well. Warhawk. I will give credit where credit is due. Warhawk is a fantastic map. I actually loved Warhawk. I thought it worked well for all of the game modes. Sovereign. Sovereign was three-lane, so it was played competitively. It's okay. There are many aspects that need to be worked on, but for the most part, it works okay. Then you have Overlord. Overlord was a dumb map, not three-lane, just kind of one building in the middle, and everybody fought over that center building. Total chaos. Stonehaven. I think this one's actually technically the largest map in Call of Duty history. Snipers. Haven, as I like to call it. Totally a dumb map. There was no map flow to it at all. Very, very chaotic. Chasm, Flooded, Strike Zone. Although people love Strike Zone, it was a redone version of Dome, and I was never a huge fan of Dome. And then their baby map, Freefall, that dynamically changed. That map was absolutely an absolutely flaming piece of dumpster fire. A flaming piece of dumpster fire. It was absolutely disgusting. So they didn't learn from their mistakes. They're like, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to experiment with a bunch more maps. This time, for a boots on the ground game, they made the maps way too small. But then when they made Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, they're like, hey, we're going to make the fastest Call of Duty ever, and we're going to make the tiniest maps. Maps like, not Throwback, Precinct is so small and so congested, and everything is happening all the time, and it's so chaotic. While other maps like Frontier is, with all of the tunnels and all of the underground passageways, is so chaotic and so fluky that they just didn't learn from their mistakes. They said, we're going to make the biggest maps, and now we're going to shrink them down and make them super tiny, and not listen to the three-lane idea. Some of the maps have three lanes, and they are actually okay. I think Frost is an okay map in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I think Breakout is an okay map. But I think, in general, most of the maps are pretty gosh darn awful. And I appreciate you guys listening to me rant through my experiences with these maps. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a like and a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.